Yeah, man. Yep. What's up, my purples? How you done been doing? Today, we're gonna take a little look-see at the MPC 500. About the size of a face. Will it do in 2020? Before we get into it, I want to speak a little bit about Distributionalization Kit, sponsoring this video right here to celebrate 5,000 billion subscribers, man. Yeah, so you heard it right. You can check the proof down there, and maybe give us another one. What is DistroKid? DistroKid is a distribution service. If you don't know how do people get their music up on Spotify, iTunes, the place, you know, all the places online and shit, they use a service like this. And why I think they do a great thing is because they are really for the artist, the creator, not the big man Illuminati thing, you know what I'm saying? For one yearly fee, you get unlimited uploads, singles, albums, whatever you want to put up there, maybe even audio booklet. Easy to do it, no commission fee, which is a big one. Some of these labels out here trying to get the big cut of your hard labor, you know what I'm saying? Not gonna happen here. They have payment splits for collaborations, which is really useful. Make a song with somebody, collaborationalize on it, then you can just easily split it up and set that up there through the distribution platform. Best of all, you get 100% 7% discount if you sign up using my VIP downstairs here in the description. So if you want to get your music out there, here's a good way to do it. Why on earth would I get an MPC 500 in 2002, you're wondering? Well, actually started off by me watching Ricky Tinez's video with the MPC 1000, and that got my gas going. Didn't quite have the bucks to get it. Then I was like, I had a MPC 500 when I was about 16 when it just came out. And I didn't really like it back then, but now I figured with the new experiences that I brought with me in the luggage, you know what I'm saying, the skeletons in the closet, I will see how do I like it now. Is it up to par?
It's gonna be a power.
Is it good enough? Let's hear some information.
MPC 500 was released by Akai Professional in 2006. It was the first ever portable MPC. Sporting 16 megabytes of RAM, allowing for slightly over 2 minutes of sampling time in mono. You can, however, upgrade it to 128 megabytes. It weighs in at 1.34 kilos or 2.93 pounds, making later additions to the family like the MPC Live feel like a victim of extreme obesity. Unlike its bigger siblings, it's got 12 pads instead of 16, which also double as shift functions. These do come in handy since the 2x16 character screen is quite small, making menu diving a breeze, allowing it to stay only one level deep. 1/4-inch jacks, MIDI ports, and a USB port for file transfer ensure being able to use it. Samples and sequences are stored on the somewhat outdated compact flash and handles cards up to 2 gigabytes.
So we're gonna fire up this little son of a bitch right now, preview some of the amazing drums sounds, and see if we can make a beat with it. Am I gonna hate it as much as I did? We will see.
First thing I want to do is try out the file transfer, so I'm going to connect the USB cable and get the amazing drums sound kit on there. Tag 3 of your friends on my Instagram on this post for a chance to win it. We'll announce the winner next week. Giveaway, y'all. Oh yeah, you have more than enough time to go away and do whatever takes a shitload of time, because the file transfer is... You get an option whether to sample in stereo or mono, whether to monitor the input, and whether to normalize it automatically. Now browsing through a Merritt Hemmingson record here to find a sample or two.
Jesus Christ, the first thing we notice is how all the samples are overlapping. So let's go into the program settings, find us voice overlap and set it to mono instead. Yep, should be better now, but let's set it to note on as well so that we can hold down the pad in order to play it. And it doesn't play all the way through by just hitting it. Now let us try and find a sample that we can use as a starting point. I know I love the bass line in this one. It is badass. We want to lower the pitch as well because we sampled it at a really fast speed, 78 BRPM. Yeah. So let's bring it down to here. Much better. Maybe a bit too slow, but let's get back to it later. I shall show you the trim function right now. It's actually pretty straightforward. You can jump between the different intervals of skipping around in the sample with the arrows right here. So let's start with something big and then fine tune it. Find that sweet spot. See? It's not too hard. The trick is to just go just past where you want it to start and then move backwards from there so you get it perfect. Now let's try out the low pass filter. Bring this some gun down. Because you want that 90s boom bap filtered bass from the sample. Might turn out pretty amazing. Now I want to find a nice tempo to it, so I'm going to turn the pitch up back again. Peaks are perfect. Woo! Now, for one of the most fun parts in the whole world, let's check out some amazing drums. This is the kicks. Let's find us a kicks first of all. You can hear pretty much off the bat that it sounds great. Oh yeah. So you can preview the sounds with a play button right there. And then when you want to load it, just press this and then select the bank and the pad and press do it again. Now let's roll through some snares in this place right here. Can we find something so delightful that it can be used for this banger right here? I think so. Some hi-hats. You know how we does it. Well. Sequencing time. We got the BPM set to 85 because that's how we want it. Start by sequencing the kick and the snare. I probably should put these on different tracks, but that's a con with the MPC, and I'm saying you can't change the tracks. You'd have to record them individually. Checking out the timing correct here, I saw that it was on set to 16ths. For the hi-hats, I definitely want it off. So we turned the timing correct off. Oh yeah. Amazing. Now let's bring in that sampled filter. The filtered sample. The filtered sampler. Simple as that. On track 3 we have the filtered sampler. And now let's add the unfiltered sample on another track, on track 4 on top of that. So we can bring that in every now and then. Make it an extra magnificent spiced up. I want to push up the bass a little bit, so let's go into effects and see what we have. 2 effect slots that you can send the samples to, and then there's a master effect too. So there's grunger, EQ, compressor, phaser, tremolo, auto pan, reverb, and that's it. You can do a lot with that. Right now we just want to push up the bass, like I said. So let's pull down the threshold and push up the gain a little bit, not too much. Got another synthesizer sound here from Zer that I want to pull in just to emphasize the melody of the bass a little bit, because that's kind of the star of this beat, I feel. It's my Parkinson's right there. Oh, there's a little something. Let's scroll through the effects, the special effects of the Amazing drums. Always nice to sprinkle with. There's a lot of spectacular lasers in here. That's kind of my pride. That's a crown piece, crown jewel of the whole thing. And get dangerous. Cons. This MPC 500 specifically, it seems to be barely used before. The pads are very stiff, and this is a common thing for MPC 500s. If they're not beaten in, if they don't have a good beating, history of beating in the past, they're going to be very stiff, and that causes some extra problems. For one thing, you're going to have to smash it very hard to trigger it. When you do, you might double trigger it. There's a high probability of some double triggering going on. When you run it on batteries, this is a big problem because sometimes you have to smash it so hard that the batteries actually realign and it causes the MPC to restart. And if you haven't saved your project, then it's a sad thing. What I recommend you to do, and I haven't done it yet, see these little paddings here? Add some extra paddings to make the batteries really snug and unmovable inside of there, and hopefully you should get rid of that problem. Also, for the pads, there's a solution for that. Every problem has a solution. You can open him up and add some layers of tape beneath the pads, making the distance between the pad sensor and the pads not so galactical. Another thing which I'd also like to do is go to mpcstuff.com and get one of their pad upgrades. Apparently it's supposed to be much better, but I haven't tried it out. So that is something you can do if you really want this. Second thing is that it's supposed to be full of bugs. I have not encountered any yet, but if you read around the forums like mpcforums.com, for example, you'll see a lot of people complaining about bugs, and they're pretty well documented, so you can get around them, or rather avoid triggering them. But I haven't had a problem with that. The thing is, they made like 1 or 2 updates for the firmware and then they just abandoned it. JJOS, come to the rescue, please. Last con that is mentionable, but I don't think is a really big deal, is that you don't get a whole lot of information on the screen. It's not a huge problem with the menu diving because there are dedicated buttons for most things here. And scrolling around is not a big problem. Using your ears is not a big problem. Professionals. It's portable and it's an MPC. What can I say? Portable, cute things, always cool to have. You can have it on the toilet, in the bed, on the helicopter, in the spaceship, on the couch. So if you want something simple to sample, play back samples and sequence them, and you're not really worried about anything else, then yeah, I'd say MPC 500 does do the trick. Second top thing I like about this is that you can actually play back the sequences as you sample. So if you want to play something like a solo over it, you can do that and listen to the sequence at the same time, so you're in rhythm and on point. And my final pro for the MPC 500 is that there are actually quite a lot of editing capabilities in this small box for the time. Mind you, also has a lot of features when it comes to sample editing that are similar to the line at the time around MPC 1000 and 2500. Some things that people really love, like zone edit and stuff like that, is not on here, so you're gonna have to do a little bit more work to chop the samples, but there is always workarounds, like resampling. For instance, you can have a longer sample. If you don't want to sample small chops one at a time, you could have one longer sample and then just resample from that one into smaller bits and pieces. Am I going to use this every day from now on? No, I'm probably not, because I have so many other convenient solutions. You know, I love my Maschine, and I have the OPZ for being on the run. I can't justify it. But if all you want is a simple, small, standalone solution, almost as good as the MPC one, check them out. Sampling some sounds, all the basic sample editing capabilities you need, and an on-the-go solution, then this might be for you. Also, join us in the Black Hole at the Beat Challenge every Monday. I hope you have a wonderful, good-ass time and that you make some sweet beats. It's gonna be amazing, and that you have yourself a great time. Until next time that I see you. Okay, bye-bye.